Okay, so to be a good host at the village, I think it's really important to, come in with a positive demeanor and, be really welcoming. It's really important to greet everyone who comes at the gathering, even if they join the gathering, 5 or 10 minutes late. It's really important to, have everyone feel comfortable and welcome and, ready to participate at the gathering. Would like to go next?
So the nenext thing you can do, be a good host / MC. I'm still gonna call it that. It's important to keep things on time, and in our sense, that generally means starting on time. So 6:20, starting the one-on-ones on time, which is 6:40, or I guess we should say the second round of one-on-ones, 6:40, and starting the breakouts on time, which we want to, our goal is always to be in those rooms at 7 and 7:05 at the latest. So we get 30 to 35-minute breakout rooms because they're coming back at 7:35. And that does a couple things, first of all, our village program, we've kind of all built it together, and the things that we do more of are things that the group has agreed they like more. So we're just kind of, getting everything, keeping everything on track and getting everything on time is just, it's both proper execution of kind of the program, and it just kind of does everything everyone likes the most. And just cuts down on people joining on forever unnecessarily, which is always a good thing in any space. So,
I think preparation is really key for hosting. Effective preparation. You don't have to over prepare, but don't under prepare. So, and that looks different for everybody, but you want to know what's coming. So I recommend 30 minutes, no more, no less, just to make sure that you can walk through the agenda, think about what you want to communicate, and think about what you or what the group is going to need along the way. Part of that is making sure that that all the roles are filled. Make sure that if there are any open slots that need to be recruited at the start of the gathering, that's something to check off the list so it's not dead time later. It's also important to be able to breathe and know how you're going to keep yourself calm and energized, throughout the whole session. And so give yourself time to figure that out, to be so that you can stay focused and really engaged with the group. I think it's important to identify topics that are going to be ready for the community connections and for the open space conversations, because it's great to open the floor to suggestions, but sometimes nothing comes, and then that's dead time that slows the momentum, right? So I think it's really important to be able to identify that and have those topics in your back pocket and ready to go. Also, it's important to anticipate what mood the group might be in. Something's happening in the world, or there's been things happening in the last couple of villages that what is the mood that the group is going to be in that you can meet and adapt to and really and respond to. And finally, what's going to get you off track? What's going to trigger you, and what's going to keep you from getting derailed from and distracted from the group? So I think effective preparation, 30 minutes to just kind of talk through all those things and walk through and feel really prepared. It boosts your own confidence as a host, but it also it's the best thing for the flow and the engagement of the whole thing. To prepare, I use a worksheet, and I've made it available for everybody else to use. And it's just a quick distillation of lots of the other resources that are available to the village, like through the reporter and the agenda. So there are lots of places you can look to help prepare. But I've got this worksheet that distills it down into one page, so you have it all in one place, and you can walk through it. So that's a resource that's also available to anybody to use to be able to prepare for hosting the village.
All right, and then one thing I think is important for hosts to do every gathering is to remind us about some of the important dynamics of our village that keep our village going. So the first reminder is about visitors. So we always want people to know that they can invite visitors in. We want to remind people who have invited visitors in the past that maybe they want to re-invite those visitors. And we also are encouraging people who have invited visitors to kind of facilitate them becoming members. So maybe doing their new member orientation. And so it's just a reminder about visitors is important. And then the second reminder is about roles, that we want everyone to have a sense that we're doing Village together. We want to remind especially newer people that all the roles are volunteered and that we all learned how to do them, that anybody can take a role, that will help people learn roles for the first time, and that we're all kind of pitching in to make it happen. So I think it's really important that every gathering we have those two reminders happen.
And I would contribute adaptability, going with the flow. Sometimes you can, prepare beforehand, and then also you never know what's going to happen in Village. There could be tech issues or a member, maybe extending past the allotted time. So all kinds of things could happen. So having adaptability, going with the flow, but also knowing the program well enough to, reel it back in. And, and at the end of the gathering, giving yourself grace, knowing that you've done your best, and we're all learning. And yeah, it's a practice, and it's something that, will help you grow as a person and as a host. And the more you do it, the better you get. So it's giving yourself grace and just being adaptable.
I would just add to all of those amazing comments by saying be yourself, that classic Robin Williams quote from Aladdin, and have fun, find your voice. The amazing thing about hosting and emceeing is you and the unique flair that you'll bring to the gathering, into the Village space, by showing your personality as the host that day. So there's beauty in the structure and having a framework to work off of, but also don't be afraid to show a little bit of yourself in the process.
Awesome. That was fantastic. So let's give a little thumbs up and some energy to our new hosts that are going to be hosting. You're going to do great. You're going to have fun. It's going to be awesome. Thanks, Corey. All right.